I want to quickly talk to you about business strategy. Okay, how do you actually build winning business strategy? Now, this is not a really sort of, I would say, a trivial question because whether you have a startup or you have an established business, a business strategy is going to be the foundation of your success in the marketplace because customers are changing all the time. Your competitors are moving in, and you have new competitors, old competitors. So it's important to constantly actually tweak your business strategies to make sure that it really fits your business model. Okay. So that's what I want to talk to you into this conversation about. So let me first give you an overview about the whole concept of business strategy. See, the whole thing is when you think about business strategy, you got to go back to the foundation of your business model. How do you make money? Or at least, how do you want to make money? Which means what? Which begs the question, which customers you want to attract in your business? So we're talking here about target audience. We're speaking about demographics. We're speaking about psychographics. We're speaking about a business strategy that aligns with the needs of those customers, right? Because the whole thing is that if you want to have a business strategy that's winning, if you want to have a successful business strategy, your strategy has to turn around the pain points, has to relate to the pain points of your target audience. What problems are you solving in the marketplace? And why are you the best to solve those problems? In other words, what have others done before? They haven't. That actually didn't work, right? So how do you differentiate yourself? So those are important questions, and to actually complement everything, you have to understand that you are operating with limited resources. You don't have like an unlimited bank account, so you have unlimited resources financially, operationally, but also a human capital, like in terms of human capital, right? Human resources. So which it just means that your business strategy has to be really focused. It has to be timed. It has to be time bound, right? So we are speaking about if you say, listen, my strategy has to be effective for 1 year. I'm gonna try for 1 year and see if it works, and then I can tweak it. Or you can say, I want to have a business strategy every quarter. But a strategy is something more, I would say, more fundamental. So if you have a strategy every quarter, this is not the right way of doing it. You want to have a strategy maybe once a year or maybe once every 3 years, okay, so that you can tweak and you can have tactics. You can have business tactics every quarter or every month or every 6 months. It really depends on the fields you're in, on the niche you're in, and also the responses that the market is sending you. Let me actually expound a little bit on business strategy. Let's go back to business strategy 101. Let's really have a clear understanding of what the concept really means. Okay. So, what's a business strategy? So, business strategy is very simple. It talks about two things. Okay. What does your business do? That's the first thing. And the second thing is, how does it do it? In other words, if you're selling pizza, if you're selling pizzas, that's what you do, right? How do you do it? Do you deliver online? Do you do like, do you have a food truck? Do you have a restaurant that people can go to and actually order? So how you actually do business, it's fundamental to your business strategy because it talks, it harks back at how you monetize your business. Okay, and monetization is all that's important in terms of bottom line, but also in terms of sustainability. If you want to sustain your business and you want to scale it, you got to really pay attention to the revenue generating paths. Okay, so a business strategy actually explains the problem that your business solves for its target markets. If you remember earlier, I spoke to you about pain points. Okay, and also your business strategy has to talk about your USP, your unique selling proposition. USP, UVP, those two terms are interchangeable. So USP, unique selling proposition, and UVP, unique value proposition. Okay, so a business strategy actually, your business strategy describes how your business differentiates itself from its competitors and actually stands out in the marketplace. And this is really important because some marketplaces are let's say crowdier than others. Okay, so that's so let me give you an example. A fast food restaurant may have a strategy to only serve fresh, organic ingredients that were never frozen. The goal here is to reach customers who would otherwise typically avoid fast food restaurants. Okay, that's one strategy. A clothing manufacturer's strategy could be to use only local suppliers and manufacture it. So by producing a superior product, they can position themselves against, let's say, fast fashion alternatives that are cheaply manufactured overseas. Okay, so it's all about how you differentiate yourself and how you appeal to a segment of the market. So one thing I want to say here is that a business strategy is actually different from tactics. Because while your strategy defines what you do and what your secret sauce is, tactics are the specific things you are going to do to achieve your strategy. Okay. So now, if you are listening to me right now, whether you have a startup, you haven't started yet, right? Or you have an established business, or you just have some company in between those two extremes, you need to understand that you need a strategy. You need a strategy no matter what. Okay, at every stage of your business operation, of your business journey, you need a strategy. Okay, it's important to understand that if you don't have a strategy, you are actually limiting your chances of succeeding in the marketplace. Because a good strategy, think about it, defines your business and helps you grow. Because that's what I was telling you a little earlier, is that a good strategy actually is at the core of your business model. It really it informs everything you do and how you do it. So this is how you can really grow, because by learning from your mistakes and expanding on things that work, so you improve on things that don't work and expand on things that work. Okay, so your strategy will represent who you are and inform virtually every day-to-day decision that you will make in your business. Okay, so that's kind of cool. So at the top of the hierarchy ladder, you have other founders, or you have senior management that are using your strategy. But the most another important element is that a good strategy helps your employees focus on the goals and mission of the business, right? So without a strategy, if you think about it, you can end up, let's say, pursuing every new opportunity that comes your way instead of focusing on the opportunities that help you achieve your goals. Remember, you have limited resources. You don't have an unlimited bank accounts, right? You have a limited resources, so you got to focus on what really can help you advance your strategy. So you want to really document your business strategy, whether you doing it for internal purposes or for, let's say, a fundraising possibilities. If you're going to talk to lenders, if you're going to talk to investors, you want to really put down your business strategy, because those stakeholders will want to know, they will want to know what your strategy is and how your approach to solving a problem for customers is actually unique in the marketplace. So, what are the steps here? If you think about building a winning business strategy, you really have to understand that the first thing you want to do in terms of establishing yourself in the marketplace is to actually define your business identity. See, the whole thing is that when you talk about business identity, we're not just talking about some kind of concept, some kind of theoretical concept here. No, going back to what I said, whether you have a startup or you have an established business, your identity, your business identity, is actually your USP, is actually your UVP. That's what differentiates you at the core. That's what really helps you grow in the marketplace. That's what really tells customers you do things differently than the competition. Okay, so your identity is the key value proposition to your customers. Your identity should be no more than one sentence and simply declare the value that you provide, right? So let me give you an example. A bike shop's identity might be: we offer high quality bike gear for families and regular people, not just gearheads. That's really good, because you're actually limiting, you're limiting the niche that you're appealing to. So a good business identity describes what you do and who you do it for, right? Your target audience, the psychographics, the demographics, okay, the geography that you're covering, if relevant. So think of how you would answer the "what do you do" question at a dinner party, and you are going to be pretty close to what your business identity really is. So that's the first step. If you want to build a winning business strategy, first step is defining your business identity. The second step is to describe the problem you are solving for your customers. So the problem that you're solving for your customers goes back to what I said about the pain points, right? Your pain points are going to define what you are worth, like what kind of worth you have in the marketplace. Okay. You should be able to define the problem you're solving in one or two sentences or a few bullets. Okay. So if I go back to the bike shop example that I just gave to you a couple of minutes earlier, the problem that the shop can be solving is that most bike shops in this town are focused on racing and high-end enthusiasts. There is no good option for affordable bikes used by commuters and families. So the third thing you want to do if you are building a winning business strategy, whether you are a startup or you are an established business or anything in between, is to explain how your solution solves your customer's problem, right? So it's not about just it's not good enough for you to be unique, to have a unique selling proposition. No, it's important for you to contextualize how your unique selling proposition solves problems in the marketplace. Okay, you have to be specific. It's all about being as granular as possible. Okay, so here what I'm saying is that you want to describe your product or service, but describe it in a value adding way. You're not just describing what you do, but you're describing it in relationship to the people you are helping, the people you're serving, the customers you're appealing to, right? So if I go back to the bike shops example that I just gave you a little earlier, you can see we sell affordable bikes to families and bike commuters, all without the intimidation and attitude of the higher end bike shops. This is a pretty good one because then you really not only reassuring your potential customers, but also providing a service of value. Next thing you want to do here is that you want to define your target market, an ideal customer. I think I've said this a little earlier before that it's important for you to define your avatar properly in terms of demographics, in terms of psychographics, in terms of geography, if relevant, right? Because the bottom line here is that if you describe your avatar, in other words, your ideal customer in clear terms, it will be a lot easier for you to reach out to him or her, right? So describe your ideal customer in a few bullets. You may want to think about the size of each of your market segments at this stage to make sure you have enough potential customers to build a sustainable business. And so in-depth market research isn't always necessary, but you do want to have a good sense of who your target customers are. Okay, so the bottom line here is that the reason why you want to have a good sense of who your target customers are is because then you can really think about scalability if possible. So for my bike shop example, your target might be families, might be college students, might be bike commuters actually. The next and final thing you want to do when it comes to building a winning business strategy is to actually think also about the competition because you're not operating alone in this market. You're not. You're not actually just even if you are in a new markets, competition is around the corner actually. Okay, so because you are actually competing against other players, you need to describe them properly. I mean, not in a negative way. No, you want to look at their strengths, their opportunities. That's why sometimes you hear the terms SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This is an important section if you are writing a business plan. Now, if you are really writing your business strategy or defining your business strategy, it's important to do a quick SWOT analysis to see where you are at, where your business is at. Okay. So you want to describe your competition and your key differentiators. Okay. Just list your top competitors and a brief sentence or phrase about how you are different or better, right? Again, it's not about denigrating your competitors. It's all about just making sure that you see their pros and cons and you compare and contrast their pros and cons to your own company's pros and cons. Okay. I mean, anyway, you're not perfect. They're not perfect. Okay. but you can really show the you can describe them in a professional, unbiased way. So if you are a new business, for instance, your business strategy is really your best guess at what you think might work. You are guessing that your target market has the problem you assume they have, and that they're going to be interested in your solution, right? So this is important to really understand that you have to do a certain bit of best guess, okay? And so if you are an established business, you can actually use the five steps that I just gave you to actually easily document your strategy, share it with your team, potential investors, and other stakeholders in your business. So here are the extras here. It's important to understand that at the end of the day, when you are thinking about writing a winning business strategy, you got to really understand that it's not a static document, right? It's a trial and error, especially because the market is moving. You know, you have customers are shifting their I would say their lifestyle, their patterns, their needs. Okay, so your strategy might need to evolve too. Now, how do you know if you have a business strategy that works? Because otherwise, it's just better to change it. Okay, so it's important to really understand that one thing you have to do here is that you want to really start gradually. Don't actually apply your business strategy to the market at once. Actually, no, you want to start gradually, 10%, 20%, and if you see results, if you see positive results, then you scale big time. Okay, it's important to understand that if you want to know if you are on the right track with your business strategy, you want to go out and talk to people in your target market, because those people know more about the trends. They know more about the key benchmarks. They know more about what's happening in your target market, in your target market than others. And you can do so through polls, through surveys, through a commissioned research. Okay, so you can interview people too, and you can find out if they actually have the problem that you think they have. Be sure to ask open-ended questions and try not to lead them towards the specific answers. Okay, because at the end of the day, it's all about, like, you are in the discovery phase. When you go out and talk to people, you are actually in a discovery phase. Okay, and you want to find out if they like your solution, because if for you to be successful in the marketplace, your solution must be popular, right? If people are not really interested in trying your solution, then that's not a good start. You also want to try and figure out what they think your solution is worth. What are they willing to pay for your products and services? Okay, so you can also, so after you talk to your potential customers, there's a very good chance that you are going to have to go back and revise your initial strategy. You might revise your solution or potentially adjust your target market. Okay, so bottom line is, just keep in mind, this is a trial and error sort of phase. There's a trial and error sort of journey. Okay, you might not get it right the first time. Okay, and one thing you need to understand here is that at the end of the day, you can also tweak gradually. You can tweak the strategy gradually. You don't have to tweak it at once. You can start gradually. Okay, and so to turn your strategy into a tool that will help grow your business, you need to incorporate it into your business management toolkit. Okay, so you can actually use software, or you can use other roadmaps. You can even there are even online platforms that help you in that sense. If you have any question on that front, let me know, and I will let you know. I will just explain to you further, depending on where you are at. Okay, how do you actually implement your business strategy this year? So, in conclusion to this conversation, I spoke to you about how to build a winning business strategy. I gave you the overview, the details, the steps, and now the extras. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.